Hello, everyone. I am Wilka Nascimento. I am the Leadership Talks podcast host. And today I have David President with us. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Wilka. Thanks for having me.
So, David, it's a pleasure. And we have a series of Black Excellence for Black History Month right now, February. I wanted to hear from you, David. What it has been your experience in the hospitality industry being, an African American gentleman?
Well, I must say, first off, again, thanks for having me. I'm excited to represent today and honored to be featured on your Black Excellence podcast. For me, what it means to be a Black man in hospitality, it means defining who I am, doing what I love, and being the best at it. I started in hospitality at a very young age. And I discovered what I love to do at that time, and I've just stuck with it. And I'm a testament to many in the hospitality community that started, in the back of the house or at the front desk or at the bottom, like we like to say. And I was able to learn and grow and climb the ranks. And it's been really, really good to me. And I'm excited to continue this journey.
Excellent. So I love it. So for sure, I know all about climbing this ladder.
Oh, yeah. The
You know,
never-ending ladder.
never ending, never ending. Oh my. But you're talking about that you're being really successful. So where are you at right now in your career? And, what would you say that is your leadership style?
So right now I'm the regional director of sales, and I oversee and support a portfolio of four hotels in the DMV area. I would say my leadership style is like a chameleon, because I have to change colors, change shape in order to fit the mold of my team. I'm very passionate about the people that I work with and the people that I hire. And I make it a point to hire people who are smarter than me. And I say this all the time because it makes my life easier. And when you bring someone on board that's dedicated and determined, in the end, it typically works out. So I would say I'm a chameleon. I have an open door policy. I encourage feedback. I always ask my team when we do one-on-ones, what can I do better? What's something that I can do to make your life easier? Because what I realize is everyone learns differently. We all show up with different problems in our life day to day, and we all have different personalities. So I'm able to shift gears really quick. As you know, working in hospitality is never a dull day. You have your staff, and then you have the guests that you have to service too. So I'm able to shift gears really quick to make sure that I'm taking care of everything that's on my plate.
Wow, David, that's amazing because also I love the way you said, you gotta flex your style, right? It's like one day you're assisting a guest, a client, the next you have to, be there for your team and assist them as well. So one of the subjects, right, of leadership, and the name of the podcast is Leadership Talks, right? Is because I think there is we saw quite a few different leadership styles coming out of COVID, right? So what is your opinion in terms of how that type of, maybe not so um fancy, right? Let's put that way, in terms of leadership in challenges after COVID or during COVID. So how was your experience, during that time? And where you look, that you could have done better, or, maybe the folks around you could have done better.
Absolutely. I'm really glad you asked this question because, I was furloughed for 3 months during COVID. I came back to the property in June of 2020, and there were only 6 or 7 of us running the entire show. But what I found was everyone who worked and was a part of the team really dug deep. We had to humble ourselves. I was in housekeeping. I was at the front desk. I was in the kitchen preparing meals. And we did whatever it took to make sure that the guests were taken care of. We worked 16-hour days, but the passion really showed. Even one of our VPs, she was here with us every day, boots on the ground, just making it happen. I think at that point, titles went out the window. Nobody cared what your title was. All we cared about was how do we keep the lights on. And working for a company that continuously brought people back and made it an effort to show the employees that they were valued, that meant a lot. I know a lot of colleagues who didn't have the same opportunities, who had to shift gears and come up with the plan to make sure that their family was taken care of. And so I really count my blessings, and I feel that even though I was scrubbing toilets and I was at the front desk and making it happen, you saw the resiliency. You really saw people just going above and beyond, and it made a big difference. And the funny part about it is when we started bringing employees back to work from furlough, the 6 or 7 of us who were here were like, oh, we can do everything. Like it's on. Like you guys need to work harder. But it really encouraged us to step our game up as leaders. And I have a newfound respect for housekeepers. I have a newfound respect for everyone in the back of the house who just makes it happen. I think it took us 3 hours to clean one room. The first day we were in housekeeping, salespeople in housekeeping, that's like, it's a bad combination. So, the level of respect that I have for those ladies and men now is just, it's amazing the type of work that they do and the time that they're able to accomplish it. It's just hats off to them.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I was part of that also, the resiliency was like, okay, let's do it. It's another day,
Yeah.
and just because we never knew, right? What was the next day going to be, if we
Mhm.
were even able to maintain, right? Like the doors open and the lights on. So
Right.
definitely I shared that with you as well. But I think through that, David, there is also a level of mentorship, right?
Mhm.
So did you develop, your employees when they returned, and did you share this, resilience with them? Did you think you became a better mentor to them?
Absolutely, because it also made me tougher. It pulled out the best in me. So bringing people back, at the beginning, we were still working the front desk. We were still serving food and banquets. It was all hands on deck, I think, for the entire 2020, going into 2021. So as we brought people back, they had to get acclimated to the new way of handling business. And, a lot of tough conversations, just being fully transparent. Not everybody was mentally in that space. They thought, okay, I'm coming back to work in sales. This is what my day to day looked like pre-pandemic. But post-pandemic, it's a totally different game. And we were held accountable, and we had to make sure that our teams understood that, we're not just selling anymore. Now we're selling, we're cooking and booking is what we call, where we're on the floor, we're in the kitchen. And it's just what we have to do until this thing dies down. And some people made it, some people didn't. And it's just the nature of the beast. We're in a totally different world now. Things are almost back to normal, so I'm really happy about that. But to answer your question, yes, it made me a better mentor. It made me, now I'm able to really paint the picture to anybody who walks through this door about the importance of honoring your staff and making sure that you're taking care of your internal equity, which is our housekeepers and our engineers, and the people that are really making it happen behind the scenes, and just having that level of respect and being able to share that with my sales staff, I think is key.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Actually, fun fact, I started as a housekeeper when I came from Brazil as an exchange student. And, quickly I was like, I need to do something else to move up, because if the opportunity is here, I need to speak English today.
Yep.
So like that resilience, that grit of doing better, and looking forward in exchange programs into a careers definitely was one of my goals. But I want to ask, David, as again, the emphasis of this conversation and to the listeners, a lot of folks are interested, right, in joining the hospitality industry, what would you say, what would be your suggestions and tips and tricks, right, for the African American community that are interested in joining our industry?
I would say, first off, don't be afraid to start at the bottom. If you're in college right now and you're majoring in hospitality and you don't have the work experience, sign up for an internship, work in the restaurant on the weekends, apply yourself so that you're able to at least gain some basic life skills. This industry is really neat because it's not just one area that you can go into. There's so many different avenues from asset management to sales to operations. If you want to be a GM, if you want to be a director of rooms or front office, so get your feet wet, try to find what you love to do. You might be good at accounting if you don't like talking to people every day. That's the perfect job. So I would say get some type of experience. Second, apply yourselves, be humble and be vulnerable. Be open to constructive criticisms. Some of my best mentors were the toughest people to work with. But I value that, and I wasn't afraid to take what they had to say and apply it to my life. So make sure that your ears are open and that you speak less because people will pour into you, but you will only receive it if you're listening. And then lastly, make sure you take it seriously. When I got into hospitality, I was in banquet setup, and I never looked at it as like just a job. I wanted to know, okay, what were these ladies in the sales office doing? What are they selling? How are they moving? And it got me interested in learning more about sales. So I applied myself and I was able to get into sales as a coordinator. But I took every single role that I had in hospitality extremely seriously, and it pays off in the end because once you get that experience piece, it never leaves you, and it'll benefit you in the long run.
Wow, yeah, definitely. I think experiences that we had right along the years, it's what makes us, greater and better on a daily.
Yes.
So David, where do you see yourself, in 2023?
Yeah, yeah. We will be here all day if I had to answer that question. But right now, I am really getting acclimated to my new role. So I was promoted to regional director in November of 2022. So still getting my feet wet, still learning my new properties. I hope to continue to grow and make an impact in this role. I hope to help more people along the way. I'm mentoring a couple of young men right now and grooming them for the next steps in their lives. And I'm really passionate about pouring into others. I travel around the East Coast and I speak at colleges through a program called Call Me Mister. And it's an opportunity to give back and to be a part of something that's bigger than me. So I hope to continue to do that throughout 2023 while sharpening my skills to be a better leader in the hospitality field.
Wow, that's amazing. Wow. Talk to me more about the program that you are a speaker in the college, because I think, when you said you're grooming the gentlemen, the young men out there, I must say, you are there is something that I want to ask that is personal, right? That you have the what is it? What is the expression? Is the traveler
The
Tailor?
traveling tailor,
The
yes.
traveling tailor, because I see you always groomed so well. Like, and I was like, what
Thank
is
you.
going on here? So talk to us about this personal project, if you don't mind, because it's
Yes,
definitely an
yes.
inspiration to me.
Oh, thank you so much, Wilka. Thank you. Yes, the Traveling Tailor is my brand. So I am a tailor. I've been designing and creating clothes for over 13 years now. In 2016, I won Orlando International Fashion Week Emerging Designer Competition. And I've just been really happy to do something that I love outside of hospitality. I'm a true believer in doing more than one thing. I'm a busybody, like my wife likes to say, but I'm really passionate about the power of a suit. So I wrote a book in June of 2020 called The Power of a Suit, and it's to empower and motivate men and women who want to get into a professional career or who needs to find some tools to build confidence in who they are. So I shared some personal stories to help with that. So the Traveling Tailor is a men's designer clothing line. I also do it for women as well, where I tailor custom suits for the business professional or for grooms who are getting married and bridal parties. And again, it's something that I love doing. So most HBCUs have a program called Call Me Mister, where they train and educate young men on etiquette, best practices, dressing for success, and starting out in a professional career. So my book and my tailoring business were the perfect combinations to tie into the Call Me Mister program. And it's been such a blessing to be able to be called upon and to be able to help other young men like myself that look like me, quite frankly, and encourage them to look the part, to take another step above and beyond what you would normally do, and just to give them some best practices as they go out into the world. I think it's one thing that a lot of African communities lack is the ability to have someone come in who looks like them and to be able to share personal stories and testimonials that can encourage them to do better, be better. And I'm glad to be a part of it. It's honestly been a blessing, and I look forward to the rest of 2023 and beyond to be able to pour into these young men.
Wow, David, that's amazing background story. I love it. So where can
Thank you.
people find your book?
So you can find the power of a suit at my website is www.dp for David President attire.com, or you can also find it on Amazon. It's called The Power of a Suit by David President.
And then I want a 50% of the sales.
There you go. And I have a signed copy for you, Wilka.
Oh, I love that. I love that, David. But I think long story short, too, I've experienced myself, I lived in Baltimore on my early days in the hospitality industry. And, I wanted to do, right? My position at the time was front desk, and I wanted to do, sales. And I always thought, oh my gosh, this is so cool, right? The grass is greener on that side. And I actually in Baltimore, I met a group of people at during the Black Chamber of Commerce, and these ladies, she had a nonprofit organization. Her name is Deborah. I hope she will listen to this. And she inspired me because I was a young woman. I didn't have means to buy any professional clothing and suits. But I always appreciated so much the way they were presenting themselves. They are also African American ladies, and they had a nonprofit, for women, Suit for Success, right? That's the name of
Mhm.
the company, I remember. And that helped me because, like you said, once you put a nice jacket, you go for a
Oh
job
yeah.
interview, you just feel better, and you
Yes.
feel that you belong and you're respected. So that job that you're doing, it means really it's a lot. I this was a personal side of myself, because I have, I don't think there is any shame on the game, like in terms of
Right.
sharing where you came from, and what you went through to get here where we are today.
No, I agree, Wilk, and I think more people need to do more of it. My first interview suit came from Goodwill. I talk about it in the book. The chapter is called the interview. And my grandfather took me to Goodwill and we got me a suit for the interview that got me into sales and hospitality. And I'll never forget the impact that that had on me. So if you're watching this video, I encourage you to order the book, read that chapter, the interview. It really breaks it down on the power of a suit and what it meant to me and how it helped me in my career. So you're absolutely right, Will. It's a game changer. It's a game changer.
It is, it's about you feeling good about yourself, but also,
Mhm.
I think the job that you're doing now is the impact on the community that you're putting that into, like you're paying forward, right? And
Absolutely.
that's beautiful. So, huge congrats on that, David, because
Thank you so
it's
much.
definitely, inspiring and appreciated, I'm sure.
Awesome. Thank you.
So any closing remarks that you wanted to highlight, because I want to be respectful of your time?
Oh, thank you. No, I just really want to thank you again for having me. This is truly, truly important. And I hope if you're watching this video today that you received something from it. Continue to watch Vilka's podcast because she's awesome and you're an amazing energy. And, just can't see what else you do in the future because you're really making an impact and you're giving people a voice that wouldn't normally have one. And that goes far. So thank you so much for having me. And I look forward to mailing out your book so you can check it out.
Oh, for sure. I'll read it and I'll make my comments and reviews, right? Because we're all about
Yes,
reviews these days.
absolutely.
Oh, David, thank you so very much. I truly, again, appreciate you. And thank you so much, everyone, for listening. This is the Leadership Talks podcast. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.